Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. On this video tonight, I'm going to be giving you my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference ahead of our game against Roma in the Europa League semi-final first leg. Luke Shaw was alongside Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the press conference. So I'm going to give you the questions that Luke Shaw was asked, and I'm going to give you his responses to them, and I'm going to do the exact same thing with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So anyway, this is Luke Shaw's question. So the first question that was asked to Luke Shaw is, I know you won the Community Shield, but you haven't been to the larger cup finals for so long in your 7 years here at the club. How much is that a driving force to win the Europa League, and what would it mean for this group to be successful? So Luke Shaw's response to that first question was, personally, for me it's a massive motivation. As you said then, I've been quite unfortunate to not be involved in semis and finals. So of course I'm really looking forward to tomorrow night to step out in one. But of course from a team point of view it's very important. In the past we've missed out on a few finals, and I think this season, the way we've been playing, the way the confidence is high, we've got real belief that we can reach it. Like I said, it's a massive motivation for not just me, but for the whole team to reach the final. It's a game we're looking forward to tomorrow, and one we're very ready for. So that was Luke Shaw's response to that first question. So this was the second question. There have been difficult semi-finals for Man United in recent times. What do you put that down to? The fact that you haven't reached a final yet, and what do you need to do against Roma to make sure you get into the Europa League final? So the response from Luke Shaw was, I think first and foremost, no semi-final is easy. They're always tough games. We've just missed out on a few, like you said. We've had a lot of disappointment from that, so I think we can use that as motivation for this one. The way we felt after them, like I say, we were very disappointed. We can just reflect on that and put things right tomorrow and start with that. It's obviously 2 legs, so you know it will only be half time after tomorrow, but the first leg will always be a very important one, and we've had a few days to prepare for this, and we're ready for this because we want to win this trophy. Fair response from Luke Shaw on that question. Third question was, can you talk us through what you were doing around the 2017 final against Ajax and what your emotions were given the team won, but obviously you weren't involved in the game? Luke Shaw's response was, of course, I was extremely happy for the players, but I think everyone would agree with me, when you're not involved and you're not playing and you haven't got that kit on, it's not the same. Of course, like I said, on the other hand, I was very happy for the club to win that trophy, and for my teammates, of course, I want to be playing. Luckily tomorrow I am, so I'm looking forward to it. This was another question. This season at United seems to be going very well for you. What's going right? What's leading to these performances? So Shaw's response to that was, I think a lot of things. I think one of them is the manager sat next to me. I'm not just saying that because he's sat here, but of course he's one of them. I think of course myself as well. I've changed a lot of things. I've added more belief in myself, and I feel a lot more confident. The most important thing is I'm just enjoying playing football again. And I think that's a very important thing to have in our job. You need to be enjoying it, and I'm doing that. The team are going in the right direction, and I want to be part of it. So I need to keep my high performance up and just keep myself in the team, because there's a competition. All over the squad. I want to keep improving. keep getting better and keep helping the team to push and hopefully win trophies. So that was Luke Shaw's response to that question. So this was another question that was asked to him. I think we are all delighted. We're looking forward to the European competition that we know about. Last week a lot went on and you came out on social media and you were very sort of outspoken about it. How relieved are you and the rest of the players that you are looking forward to the Europa League, the Champions League and not a Super League? So Luke Shaw's response to that was, yeah, of course, that's done now. A decision has been made. Personally, I think it was the right decision. So yeah, that's that. I think there was a lot of emotion last week, but it's been dealt with now. We're professionals. We need to put that behind us and focus on what's happening now. Of course, we're playing in a European competition, the Europa League, and like I said, it's one we're looking forward to. So the full focus is on that, and we're just looking forward to getting back out on the pitch again. This was another question that was asked to Luke Shaw. I don't know if you saw the stat this week that you have created as many chances as Lionel Messi this season. It's not a bad comparison, I suppose. Obviously, your free kicks and your corners are a part of that, but how important is that to your game in terms of creating chances, getting down the wing and playing crosses? So Shaw's response to that was, yeah, I think it's very important. I think a fullback nowadays needs to create a lot and do as much as they can to help the team. Not just me, but Wan-Bissaka on the other side has been brilliant for us and creating a lot of chances himself too. So I think a fullback nowadays, first and foremost, we're defenders. We need to defend, but I think a lot of the game nowadays is fullbacks flying forward. It's something I personally enjoy doing, trying to help the team as much as possible by creating chances and hopefully adding a couple of more goals to my game. I think this was the final question that was asked to Luke Shaw. You won the Club's Player of the Year award a couple of seasons ago, but the team in general seemed to have tailed off at the end of that season. This season it feels like the team is getting stronger from a personal perspective. Do you feel as though you're playing the best football of your career? So Luke Shaw's response to that was, yeah, definitely. This season I won the Player of the Year award. I think you could have just picked anyone out of a hat. I don't think there was a standout person that season. I think definitely this season is my best. Like I said, I'm enjoying it and I need to keep working hard, keep improving. I feel like I can keep getting better and give more for the team. So I need to be doing that. Keep going, keep my head down, and what will come will come. So yeah, so they were all Luke Shaw's questions and all his responses to them. I've got to say, Luke Shaw has been our best player this season. By far, he's showed very, very good attacking intent. He's got into very good positions. He's provided width. His crossing's been good. And defensively, he's been superb. Luke Shaw's had a good career at Manchester United apart from his injuries. He's been at the club now like 7 years. And he still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Alex Telles last summer. Now, recent reports have said that Manchester United are set to offer Luke Shaw a new 5-year contract. Worth around £180,000 a week, so we're set to give him around a £30,000 pay rise. I think Shaw's just got over 2 years left on his current contract. But this season has been the best left back in the league by far. Now anyway, these are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's questions. So this was the first question that was asked to Ole. Can I just ask for your reaction, Ole, to Roma fans putting posters of you around the training ground? Apparently a comment from you post Granada that you didn't know them and hadn't seen them play. Their suggestions there were affected by that. So Ole's response to that was, of course, that was straight after the game, and with all the games we've had, I was just relieved that we'd gone through. Of course, I've watched them, but I hadn't analysed them and I hadn't seen them in depth to give them enough respect, probably. It's a fantastic club with a great history. I've actually got 2 prized possessions back home, a Totti shirt and a De Rossi shirt that I've swapped with them. They've actually signed. I know about the history, I know about the quality, of course, with Chris being there on loan last season. We followed them, then they signed Chris, so we haven't watched them as much. But of course, we have analysed them down to the ground since we drew them. We are ready for them, and my comment was not meant as any disrespect, and I think everyone knows that I've got loads of respect for them. So that was Ollie's response to that first question. So Ollie's basically saying he meant no disrespect to any Roma fans, because obviously Roma fans have put posters up of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer outside the training ground. So this was the second question that was asked to Ollie. You've talked a lot this season about the progress the team has made, and that's evident. But does there come a point now where you're close to a final and you've lost in semi-finals? Where have you to seize the opportunity and tell the players now it's time, effectively? So all his response was, when you come to the business end of the season, the main thing is arriving there. First of all, arriving there and being in and around the important games in good form. Having confidence and belief like we do now, like Luke just said, but of course to have that little bit of luck, but also that quality that's needed. We have done remarkably well to get to 5 semis in just a little bit more than a season, but now, of course, we'd like to go through all the way. That would mean so much to the end of our season if we have a final to look forward to. Fair response from Ollie. This was another question. I know Luke has confirmed himself as a starter, but how is the rest of the squad looking with Marcus? It seems he hasn't been able to train ahead of the game, so what's the situation with him? So the response was, I was going to ask Luke if he'd picked the team already, but with Marcus we've managed him and we've had to manage him for quite a while actually. With, of course, last year he's back, then he had his shoulder injury which he has recovered really well from, and I feel he's gone through the worst of his foot problem as well. He almost played the full game against Leeds. And he's available for selection again on Thursday tomorrow, so I think he's happy with the progress that he's made, and we didn't lose anyone after the Leeds game, which was a great preparation for us because it was a high intensity and very difficult game. So that was all his response to that. Now, this was another question that was asked to him. It's a great achievement to reach all of those semi-finals, especially in something like the Europa League, but is there a feeling, and is it's through no fault of your own, that any success in it will be devalued, given that your owners clearly don't care for the competition? So all his response to that was, we've had a great night in the tournament before at this club and we know how much it means for the team, for the whole club, and of course our focus now is to get to the final and make sure that the end of the season can finish with a celebration. As soon as we went out of the Champions League, our eyes and focus was on let's get to the final in the Europa League. I've noticed with the players that these games have been very important for them. For us, when you've got Real Sociedad and Granada, 2 Spanish La Liga teams, good teams, and you've got AC Milan with their history and Roma with their history, we feel we've been in a proper competition and we've had to dig this out. We've enjoyed it, now we're one step away from the big one. That was all his response to that question. Now, this was another question. You played against Roma in that unforgettable 7-1 victory. You played half an hour, Carrick scored twice and you had an assist. How do you remember that game, and have you and Carrick had a walk down memory lane together before this one? So the response was, I remember both games. I remember I started the first one, but I can't remember if I finished it because we played with 10 men and we dug out a very good result. The manager was really happy and pleased after that 2-1 defeat because we had scored a goal and he was confident that we could go through. But that night was magical. Alan Smith, he was unbelievable in that game. Michael's 2 goals, Ronaldo scored. We were on fire that night and we showed what Man United can do. Hopefully we can put on a performance like this again. If you knew me and Michael well enough, you wouldn't ask that question because of course we haven't. That's just not the types we are. We are looking forward. Maybe you look back at disappointments and setbacks. I think they're the ones you really go through. Good nights like that, that's in the bank, but you don't talk about it. So that was all his response to that. Now, this is another question that was asked to him. I want to ask about Eric Bailly. You've given him a new contract. How confident are you that he's over the injury problems he has had, and does it change your focus, bearing in mind the window in the summer? All his response was, Eric's been showing that he's more and more resilient. He's been more robust, of course, with COVID. Noon can be guaranteed there, so that was a disappointment that he lost that one. But I think he has shown throughout this season that he is maturing, he's developing, he's getting better. And of course, we want to get the best out of Eric. As I've said before, he's very, very highly regarded member of the squad. The boys love him. He's got such a good heart about him and his performances. When he plays, he never lets us down. He's heart on the sleeve kind of guy, and you'll know you'll get block, tackles and aggression as a defender should do. But he's improving with the ball, improving with his build-up play, and I'm very pleased that he's going to stay. So that was all his response to that one. Yeah, I'm glad that Eric Bailly is going to be staying because I think he's a very, very good centre-half. My only element of concern about him is that he's injury-prone, so in that aspect, he is a liability. Just come back from COVID not so long ago. But yeah, it got confirmed recently that Bailly signed a new contract with Manchester United until 2024. There's an option of a further year. Solskjaer actually said prior to the Burnley game he was relaxed over Bailly's future, and he said that we was in contract talks with the player. Bailly had just a year left on his current contract before he signed this new contract. He's been at the club a few years now. We got him for £30 million from Villarreal back in 2016. But I think he does complement Harry Maguire in our back line. Now, with obviously Eric Bailly signing this new contract, I don't think Solskjaer's bothered now about getting a centre-half. His new priority is getting a forward. So anyway, this was another question that was asked to Ollie. There were protests against the owners in front of the stadium last weekend. Do you hope this will have an impact on the other side of the Atlantic, and can you explain to the fans how your relationship is with the Glazers? Solskjaer's response was, I've had a very good relationship with the owners and with the club. Of course, they've employed me as the manager, they've listened to my views, and that's my job, to give my opinion and do my best for the club and for them. I've had so many years here at the club that I'm looking forward to trying to bring success to the team, and that's my focus. Bringing the fans and the players and the club together is very, very good. We've had setbacks, disappointments here so many times, but we always come together. My focus and our focus, the players, is to go that one step further, get to the final and hopefully win. So that was always response to that, and you obviously know the news regarding the Glazers. I updated you earlier on today that the Glazers snub Man United fans and protestations as they focus on long-term objectives. And yet, our fans recently protested against the Glazer family outside Old Trafford. And our fans burnt the American flag. And our fans are going to protest against the Glazers before our game against Liverpool in the Premier League on Sunday. Not so long ago, our fans protested against the Glazers at Carrington, and some of our fans blocked entrances into the Carrington training ground to protest. They had banners up saying 51%, MUFC 20 and Glazers out. Solskjaer insists that the Glazer family will not sell Manchester United. Before that, he told protesters that Joe Glazer loves the club. The Red Knights have told the Glazers to sell Manchester United. The Glazers want £4 billion to sell the club. They did say sorry, did the Glazers, for the plans over the European Super League. Joe Glazer did release a statement and apologised. But it would be the right decision by Man United to get rid of the Glazers, because I hate the way the football club has been run now for a long time. The Glazers have been with us now for 16 years. They've been with us since 2005. So we need to recommend new owners in. So anyway, this is another question that was asked to Ollie. This is regarding the goalkeepers. What's the goalkeeping situation tomorrow, and how does that work, and how easy is it to navigate at the moment? So Ollie's response to that was, the situation is that we hope we can keep another clean sheet, and we hope we have a keeper that can join in the build-up, that we have a strong personality back there, making big moments. I'm probably the luckiest manager in world football to have two such good options, and both of them have played more than 20 games this season, 20 to 30 games. We've been very solid, we've been building clean sheets, our record here is better and better, and they are a big, big part of it. Both Dean and David want to lift the trophy, of course they do. Whoever we go with will know he has the support of his team and his teammate. Fair response from Ollie. This was another question that was asked to him. You spoke a minute ago about belief and getting from a semi-final to a final. Do you think there is a bit more belief than perhaps there was this time a year ago before that Sevilla game? Ollie's response was, yes, I would like to think so. The players have had another year. They've been experienced. They've come through some difficult times. Of course, Luke has been a big, big part of this season, and he's another player who was injured last season. He couldn't be part of it. It was a strange end to last season with the tournament, and even though we wanted to get to the final, it was a strange atmosphere and feeling staying in Germany now with the motivation of having those disappointments. I feel very confident that we're getting a good performance. And that's the thing. You come to a situation like this, the team is in good form, it's confident, and you just then hope we can produce on the night. That's what it's about, producing in 90 minutes or 180 minutes and have that quality and some luck at times to get to the final. So that was Ollie's response to that question. So this is towards the end of the press conference. So this was the second to last question. Have you analysed those semi-final defeats, and can you put it down to a reason why they happened? So Ollie's response to that was, of course, we've looked at all the semis and we've looked at them for reasons why. But as Luke said, every semi-final is a tough one. You play against the very, very good teams. Some defeats you'll dwell on a little bit more, you analyse a little bit more, and it's about putting things right. It's arriving in this moment with an almost fully fit squad. We're in a better position. Of course, Anthony is injured, but we've had situations where we've maybe rested a couple that we thought we needed for the game the next week, which has been criticised and talked about, but we made those decisions with the right reasons behind it. Now we're going to go all out, of course. We've got Liverpool in between, but that will take care of itself. This was the final question of the press conference. You talked about the importance of winning trophies for the players and for the team, but how important is it for you on a personal level to get into that first final and get your hands on that first trophy as Manchester United manager? So Ollie's response to that was, it will be a dream come true. The day I can lift a trophy for this club as a manager, of course. That's what we're building for. As you said, we've been close, we're building step by step, but to take the next step, it's if and buts. And this and that, you always talk about that. But for this team and for myself, our ambition this season is to finish it with lifting a trophy and being able to celebrate. I know how much that can mean to a group moving forward. So yeah, that was exactly everything that was mentioned during the press conference. Now, this is going to be the first meeting between Manchester United and Roma for 13 years. Like I said, we beat Roma in the Champions League quarter-finals 7-1. That was back in the 2006-7 season. We actually played Roma in the Champions Cup back in 2014. We beaten them 3-2. This is our 18th European semi-final, and it will be the 7th time we'd have played Roma, because we've already played them on 6 occasions. And this is our 5th semi-final under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I do think we've got a very, very good chance of winning the Europa League. You know, we got to the semis last season. You know, we lost 2-1 to Sevilla. And we won the Europa League back in 2017 under the Jose Mourinho era. We beat Ajax in the final 2-0. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. Because obviously we haven't won a trophy since 2017. Solskjaer did say last month, don't forget, that winning trophies can be an ego thing. But even if we fail to win the Europa League, we know that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will not be sacked as Manchester United manager. That's already been made clear. I'm expecting Solskjaer to make some changes from the 0-0 draw with Leeds recently. Weren't a good performance against Leeds by Manchester United. I thought it was pretty poor, but I thought in general the game was poor. You know, there wasn't really many chances. The biggest talking point in the game against Leeds was Luke Shaw's handball. You know, some people actually think it was a penalty. Paul Scholes thought it was a penalty. Our best chance of the game against Leeds was from Marcus Rashford's free kick. Marcus Rashford also had another chance in the game. Bruno Fernandes also had a chance, but it was wasteful, and Mason Greenwood had a chance. I thought Leeds' best chance was from Helder Costa when he hit the roofing of the net. Solskjaer did say prior to the game against Leeds it was definitely not going to be a 0-0. From a Leeds perspective though, they'd have been very, very delighted with the draw. You know, we are unbeaten now though in our last 24 Premier League away games. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year, and we are unbeaten in our last 6 games in all competitions. We progressed to the Europa League semi-finals by obviously beating Real Sociedad. We beat AC Milan, and we also beat Granada in the previous round. I'm expecting us to beat Roma over the 2 legs. Roma aren't great, are they? You know, they're sitting 7th in Serie A. They're winless in the last 4 games. The recent loss 3-2 against Cagliari. Their current manager is Paulo Fonseca. He's been Roma manager since 2019. Before Roma, he's managed Shakhtar Donetsk, Braga and Porto. Also managed another club before, but I can't remember the team's name. Obviously, Roma have got Chris Smalling. I think he'll be in contention to play because he's not injured now, but he was out with injury for 6 weeks. If Smalling plays, he'll be reuniting with Man United. You know, we had Chris Smalling for like 9.5, 10 years, was it? Henrik Mkhitaryan, I think he'll be in contention to play tomorrow. If he does, he'll be reuniting with Manchester United. Roma have also got Edin Dzeko. He's definitely one of their key players. He's a former Manchester City player. Solskjaer, not so long ago, spoke about Man United facing Roma in the semi-finals, and he said that Edin Dzeko will pose the biggest threat to Manchester United. Roma have also got Brian Reynolds. They brought him in earlier on this year. They've got Shawi. They brought him in earlier on this year. They've got Lorenzo Pellegrini. I think Manchester United have been in for him before. They've got Pedro and Pedro Rodriguez. I think Rodriguez is actually out with injury. And obviously they've got Mancini. He's suspended. Yes, and like I've said, you know, we've got a big game on Sunday against Liverpool. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop me comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.